Hello, everybody, and welcome to historic Hartwood Park here in Leroy, where the Wacken Knights are getting set to take on unbeaten Hornell in a battle of two long, proud programs, with the Wacken Knights looking to rebound from a loss last week to East Rochester Gananda. And as I said before, the Red Raiders looking to remain unblemished. My name is Alex Brasky, here for the Batavia Daily News. Here to take you through tonight's action.
Welcome, everybody, to Hartwood Park.
One quick side note before we get into things. Both bands in attendance here tonight. So a battle of the bands expected between Leroy and Hornell. So before we get going here, of course, we'd like to thank our sponsors for tonight's broadcast, beginning with Casella Waste, who will be your scoreboard sponsor for this evening, as the Wacken Knights run onto the field and are greeted by the hometown fans. Of course, at Casella Waste, we're your number one source for residential and commercial waste removal. Are you looking for residential pickup at your house, a dumpster, or roll-off service for your place of business? Call Casella Waste and check out their local and great rates for waste removal. Casella is your number one provider for all your waste and recycling needs. Casella, always putting your waste to work. Call 308-0662 today for a quote. Also, TF Brown's in Batavia, 214 East Main Street, is the same location that housed the Mancuso family's first venture into the food business in 1930 and has been the home of TF Brown's for over 25 years. Whether you're looking for a great place for lunch or dinner, a place to relax and enjoy a beverage, or a place to hold any type of party or get-together, TF Brown's is ready to meet your needs and budget. Also, the Whiting Law Firm right here in Leroy, a general practice in Leroy with an office in Batavia as well. Reed has 38-plus years of legal experience and works alongside his sons, Jake and John. The Whitings are able to meet your local legal needs via thorough and practical advice. Georgian Swede Sales and Service, a full-service equipment dealership located in Pavilion, New York. But let us pause for a moment as we take in the playing of the national anthem. As I said before, this broadcast brought to you by Georgian Swede Sales and Service. Established in 1983, Georgian Swede has been providing exceptional sales, rentals, parts, and service in the Western New York area for over 35 years. Call or visit Georgian Swede at 7155 Big Tree Road in Pavilion, 584-3425, or log on to georgianswede.com. Also, Kenneth Klein, Realtor at Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. Contact Kenneth Klein, your hometown realtor, providing you with the same level of service when purchasing or selling your home. You can count on Kenneth to be there every step of the way. Kenneth Klein looks forward to working with you on your home sweet home. Call Kenneth now at 297-0764 for more information. Also, Sweet Betty's Restaurant and Ice Cream Shop right here in Leroy, serving lunch, dinner, homemade desserts, and 30 flavors of Perry's ice cream. Check us on our Facebook page for our daily specials. Open every day except Tuesdays. Sweet Betty's is located at 15 Main Street in Leroy, 502-6084. Another Leroy sponsor, Leroy Federal Credit Union, has been serving our members for 60 years, bringing them a hometown feel with welcoming customer service and a feeling like you have control over your finances. Leroy Federal Credit Union, owned by you, working for you. Bubba's Landscape, also here in Leroy. Call Bubba's for all your residential and commercial lawn treatment needs. You will spend less time on lawn care and more time doing things you love. Call now for an estimate, 768-6578. Western New York Concrete, pave your way to success. Since 1946, we've been proud to provide our concrete services throughout the Genesee County area and the rest of Western New York. Contact us today for custom concrete driveways, custom concrete patios, and more. Western New York Concrete, 343-6850. Beyond Driven, increase your strength, speed, agility, and vertical with the same strength program that powers the Leroy Oaken Knights football team and countless other local athletes. Now accepting new athlete applications at BeyondDriven.com. Find out what it means to be a Beyond Driven athlete. Ankle and Foot Centers of Western New York. Dr. George Vito has over 30 years of experience striving to deliver the best ankle and foot care in Western New York. Podiatry services for Leroy, Buffalo, Dunkirk, Angola, and Batavia. Ankle and Foot Centers of Western New York has the physicians to turn to for reliable ankle and foot services in the area. Visit them online, ankleandfootcentersofwesternnewyork.com, or call today, a location near you. Lastly, Empire Tractor in Batavia, your local New Holland dealer, selling a full range of tractors and farm equipment. Empire Tractor is proud to sell Dixie Chopper zero-turn mowers, which is the world's fastest mower, and they are now selling and servicing the Coyote line of tractors, mowers, and utility vehicles. Visit their website, empiretractor.com, today. So here we go, getting ready for kickoff here at Hartwood Park as the Oaken Knights getting set to kick it away to the Red Raiders to get things going here. Once again, my name Alex Brasky for the Batavia Daily News and Livingston County News. Excited to take you through another high-profile matchup right here in Section 5 football. Leroy looking to bounce back from its first loss of the season. They come in at 1-1. Hornell comes in unbeaten at 2-0. So the opening kickoff goes to the Red Raiders, and here's the return. And it doesn't go for much as the Leroy special teams there to swallow up the Hornell returner. Looked like Xavier Patrick on the return. And Emmanuel Fisher on the tackle for the Knights. So, excuse me, I have NFL time here, so 11:53 to go here in the first quarter as Hornell begins its drive. So it should be a good matchup here. Two quality programs for quite some time. Have had their battles over the years, that's for sure. And another one here at historic Hartwood Park. So here's Hornell to get things going. Shotgun snap, handoff up the middle, but there's big Zach Vanderhoof in the backfield to drop number 13, Ryan Buzzard of Hornell. So Leroy's Vanderhoof, the top defensive player, and perhaps the top player for this Oaken Knights team, making his presence felt early on in this one. First tackle of the game goes to Vanderhoof. So Hornell quarterback Dominic Naska in the backfield, ready to take the shotgun snap. He's ahead of Buzzard. Naska rolling out, looking to throw. It's complete to the right side, and falling forward for a good gain, Caleb Galloway, the senior. So that's about a gain of 4 or 5. That's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5.
So as I said before, Vanderhoof, the top defensive player for this Leroy team, already with 13 tackles on the season, 4 of which have come for a loss. And you saw another one right there. So here's Nasca on the 3rd and 5, sending a man in motion along the line of scrimmage. Nasca takes the snap, turns around, hands it to Buzzard. He's met at the line of scrimmage and dropped.
Tonzi
Jack Tonzi there for the stop
tackle
for the Knights.
for a loss.
And that's going to bring up a 4th and 5 for Hornell. Looks like the
Fourth
punting
down.
unit has come out for
And
the Red
5
Raiders.
For the Red Raiders.
So Leroy looking to give itself good field position here to begin its
Deep
first
for the
drive
Knights, number 44,
early
Adam
on in this
Weiswick.
first quarter. Good defensive stand from Leroy
And
right
Bruce
there.
Stroll,
Tonzi
number 34.
and Vanderhef with good stops at the line of scrimmage. So Reiswick on the return, breaks the tackle. Adam Reiswick running near the sideline, and there he goes, reversing field. Adam Reiswick is gone. Touchdown Knights. Leroy with the early 6-0 lead as Adam Reiswick takes the punt return in for the score.
Touchdown.
What a start for Leroy. So 9:30 remaining here
Number 21.
in this first quarter, and Reiswick's big return has put Leroy on the board.
Mick Hockey, next hit for 22.
So it's now 7-0 Leroy following the successful PAT. And the Knights off to a good start here at Hartwood Park. So it didn't take long for Leroy to get going, and if you've been following along with our coverage in the Batavia Daily News, the Leroy offense has not necessarily been on fire through 2 weeks, so a special teams touchdown, exactly what this Leroy team needed to begin this game against 2-0 Hornell. 9:30 remaining in this first quarter. Leroy, a big burst on the back of Tonzi. Or Reiswick, excuse me.
Robbie Newmark again kicking off for
So
the
Robbie Newmark on to kick off for Leroy. Following the big return, once again, excuse me, from Reiswick.
And number 22, Griffin Baker for the Red Raiders.
Another good kick. Fielded at about the 10-yard line. Here comes Hornell. Griffin Baker on the return, the senior. Ball may have came out, but I believe the referees are going to mark him down. So Hornell going to begin its drive here at about the 29-yard line with 9:20 remaining in this first quarter.
Ryan Higgins on the stop, also number 30, Tony Piazza. Red Raiders will be first down and 10 at the 29-yard line.
So here's Nasca awaiting the shotgun snap. Takes it, looking to throw to the near side, not even close.
Pass is incomplete.
Looking for
It'll be
Baker,
second down
had
and
Patrick
10.
in the backfield behind him, and that ball falls incomplete. So 2nd and 10 coming up for Hornell now. Along with Vanderhoof, a few other key contributors for this Leroy defense. Tyler Strollo, 9 tackles on the year, 3 coming for a loss. And then 2 players with 6 tackles, Drew Strollo and Ryan Higgins. Both have 2 tackles for loss on the season. So look out for those names, among others, here this evening, as Leroy off to a good start on the defensive side of the ball. Naska takes the snap, looking to hand it off, and the ball's out. Who's got it? And Leroy's got it. Vanderhoof was in on the play. Ball comes out. Leroy falls on top of it, and the Knights in business once again.
At the 20-yard line.
So with 9:11 remaining in this first quarter, a big play created by the Leroy defense. Looked like Vanderhoof in there, among others. Not sure who popped the ball out, but Leroy with good field position here, looking to add to its early lead. Handoff. That goes to Strollo. Good strong running from Drew Strollo, spinning forward to about the 5-yard line.
First down.
It's a first down for the Knights.
First down and goal to
So
goal.
Leroy on point in all phases in the early going. The defense has been strong. The return from Ryswick, and now the offense looking to add what's been to a successful start to this game. Under center, John Penapeno turns around, hands it off. Drew Strollo in for the touchdown.
For the touchdown. Knights.
Leroy ahead 13-0. Strong running there from Strollo, and he finishes it off with about a 5-yard touchdown run. So on the Casella Way scoreboard, it is now 13-0, awaiting Mitch Hockey's point after.
Extra point attempt, again by number 21, Mitch Hockey.
Ball's down, kick is up, kick is through. Hockey 2 for 2, 14-0, Knights lead.
Red Raiders 0.
Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors for tonight's broadcast, Casella Waste, TF Browns, the Whiting Law Firm, George and Swede Sales and Service, Kenneth Klein, Realtor at Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, Sweet Betty's Restaurant and Ice Cream Shop, Leroy Federal Credit Union, Bubba's Landscape here in Leroy, Western New York Concrete Corporation, Beyond Driven Athletic Training, Ankle and Foot Centers of Western New York, and Empire Tractor in Batavia. So a quick reminder, we will award the Casella Waste Athlete of the Game along with the TF Browns top trench performer at the conclusion of this contest. Drew Strollo putting his best foot forward in that race with a touchdown here with 8:34 remaining in the first quarter. Adam Ryswick also with a touchdown on the punt return. And Zach Vanderhoof, I believe, with a forced fumble and a tackle for loss already on defense.
Kicking off again for the,
so those are some names to watch in the races for those two honors this evening. So what a start for Leroy here, as Hornell really hasn't even gotten its pants on, and it's already down 14-0. Mark, a line drive kick on the ground, fielded, and that's going to be blown dead as Baker was on the ground when he fielded that one.
At the 14-yard line.
So 1st and 10 coming up for Hornell. Not very favorable field position here inside their own 15-yard line. So here's Naska with Baker behind him. We have Galloway on the near side, lined up wide.
Keep him down there.
Naska takes the snap, looking to run. Option play, but Leroy had it sniffed out. Brock Flint
Made by number 22, Brock
into the backfield for the tackle. Another tackle for loss. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 12
It's second down and 12.
I'm not sure Hornell has positive yardage yet. Light crowd on hand here for Hornell, it seems. A decent crowd for Leroy. Decent crowd as far as the student section is concerned as well, as Naska looks to throw, and it's complete to the far side. He finds Colin McCumsky, and is now going to bring up a 2nd and 8. Or excuse me, a 3rd and 8. Gain of about 4 from Naska to McCumsky.
Number 34, Drew Strollo.
Strollo in there on the tackle.
It's going to be 3rd down.
As you heard from Leroy PA announcer Scott Ripley. Does a great job here at Leroy. I'd like to thank the Leroy Athletic Department as well as the school administration for helping us get set up here in the press box. Also the IT department, who had to lend a hand earlier. So here's the snap. Naska rolling out under duress over the top, but it goes off the fingertips of McCumsky and falls to the turf incomplete. So 4th and 8 coming up. Looked like Naska may have had McCumsky over the top, a high lofted throw, but McCumsky couldn't come up with it. So 4th and 8 coming up, 6:49 remaining here in the first quarter. Hornell will punt it away once again. And Ryswick and Strollo, the 2 Knights to come away with touchdowns here this evening, awaiting the return. So it's really pick your poison here for the Red Raiders as the 2-man return team, and they're not going to get a chance as this one goes over the head of the Hornell punter into the end zone, and that's going to be a safety. So another special teams play from Leroy as the ball goes over the head of the Hornell punter into the end zone, and it results in 2 points for the Knights. 16-0, and the route is on here at Hartwood Park. 6:45 remaining here in the first quarter. Leroy rolling. So it's certainly been a struggle here in the early going for Hornell as they took the opening kickoff, did nothing with it, punted it away, had Ryswick take it about 55 yards maybe for the touchdown, and then a minute later Drew Strollo pounded it in from about 5 yards out. Hornell got the ball back. Leroy forced a punt, snap over the head of the punter into the end zone for a safety, and that makes it a 16-0 Leroy lead with 6:45 remaining here in the first. So we haven't seen much from the Leroy offense here this evening, but it hasn't mattered. But nonetheless, they'll get the ball here. If John Penapeno, the starting quarterback for this team, a senior, he hasn't had to do much through the air thus far. 33 attempts for 112 yards, 2 interceptions, has yet to throw a touchdown. Leading rusher for this Leroy team, you've seen him, Drew Strollo, 35 carries for 144 yards and 2 scores, now 3 on the season. Jack Tonzi, who I mentioned by mistake earlier, also carries the ball for Leroy. 1 touchdown on the year. And Penapeno also with a rushing score. So a good kick here from Hornell. Strollo takes it at about the 35. Right up the middle, he's brought down across midfield at about the 48-yard line, and that's where Leroy will begin its drive following the safety.
First down and 10 at the 47. Tackled by the Red Raiders, number 31, Braden Drew.
So 8 different players have recorded a rush this season for Leroy. But really it's Ben Strollo and also senior Brock Flint who have gotten the lion's share of the work. Flint with 14 carries on the year. Here's Strollo. Another good carry for a gain of about 6 or 7. That brings the ball to about the 40-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 6, 2nd and 4 coming up. Ryswick, the top target for Penapeno this year, 8 catches for 56 yards. So you may see some further contribution from Ryswick through the passing game. Approaching 6 minutes to go, another handoff to Strollo, cuts it up the left side, and that's going to be a first down for the Knights.
First down and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Strollo running well here in the early going, showing great bursts out of the backfield and running through tacklers, able to fall forward for extra yardage. You see Vanderhoof in there at right guard. He's the top offensive lineman for Leroy. They'll run off him quite often, and he pulls there. And Strollo gets swallowed up in the backfield and falls forward for about a gain of 2. So 2nd and 8
Gain of 2 yards.
coming up for Leroy. So Penapeno takes over for, I believe, cousin Alex Penapeno, who graduated following last season. Penapeno did see some time last year, so there is some experience there. And a bad snap and a botched handoff. Ball's on the ground. Who's got it? Appeared as if Strollo fell back on top of it, but that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 9 for Leroy. So that didn't go well from the start, as it looked like the snap was mishandled and then the botched handoff. So 3rd and 9, first bit of adversity coming up for Leroy. We'll see how they respond here on the long 3rd down with about 4.5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Knights lead 16-0. Looking to add to it here as Penapeno drops back. He's under pressure, and he's sacked. Big number 79, Dominic Lockwood.
Dominic Lockwood with the tackle for the Red Raiders. It's going to be 4th down and long for the Knights.
I actually believe that was 78, but we don't have a 78 on our roster here. I thought I saw 79, but at second glance looks like 78, so
Punting for the Knights.
We're just going to call him
15,
number
Brady
78. Excuse me, Brady Fix punting for Leroy here. It's a good one, as it goes inside the 20 and comes to rest at about the 14-yard line.
15-yard line.
So that's where Hornell will begin its drive with about
Number 5,
3:40
Newmark.
remaining in this first quarter. So my apologies to number 78, a big defensive play there for Hornell
Red Raiders lead
to get
first
them the
down
ball
and
back
10
here.
at
A
the
big sack of
15-yard line.
Penapeno, as he never really had a chance. He was under duress right from the moment he got the snap. So here we go, 3:40 remaining in this first quarter. Nasca ready for the snap. Hands it off, run up the middle. Leroy defense is there. It's going to be a gain of about 1. 2nd and 9 coming up. Jack Tonzi on the stop for Leroy. So as I said before, you may be able to hear the Leroy band here on the near side. The Hornell band also in attendance, so we could see a battle of the bands at halftime. So make sure you stick around for live entertainment during the break. Nasca bobbles a snap, falls forward. Ryan Higgins along with Jack Lathan in there for the stop. 3rd and 9 coming up for Hornell.
No gain. It'll be third down
Hornell
and
with a
9 for the Red
big
Raiders.
play on defense, but so far they've been unable to capitalize, and they face a 3rd and long of their own here, deep inside their own territory. 2.5 minutes to go here in this first quarter. It's been all Leroy. And it's really been a number of nights getting the job done here this evening. So here's Nasca awaiting the snap. Nasca looking to throw, gets it away. It's complete, dodging defenders on the far side and falling forward near first down yardage
With a tackle. Pass intended for number 23.
is number 23, Caleb Galloway. So a nice gain from Nasca to Galloway sets Hornell up with a fourth and
down and 1 for the Red
reasonable
Raiders.
yardage here. 4th and 1, but it looks like Hornell is sending on the punting unit. So Hornell not confident with their ability to gain 1 yard here and keep the drive alive, and they'll send the punter on with about a minute and a half remaining here in the first. Leroy will likely take back over here. Certainly been a sluggish start for the Hornell running game. Haven't been able to get much going, but trailing 16-0, an opportunity on a 4th and 1, even though you are deep inside your own territory. Maybe a little bit of surprise that they elect to punt it away here, but it is a fairly good punt as Ryswick will let it drop and let it roll all the way to about the 23-yard line. So a beautiful punt from Hornell. I believe it's Nicholas Oyer, the punter for Hornell. Had one go over his head, didn't get a chance there, but this one a beauty. And that backs up Leroy all the way inside its own 25-yard line. So Penapeno takes the snap, tosses it out. Strollo catches it in stride, cuts it up for a gain of about 5, bringing up a 2nd and 5 for the Knights.
2nd down and 5 for the Knights.
So Leroy being led by veteran head coach Brian Herdline, a decent 1-1 start. A very difficult week 2 matchup against what many believe to be the top team in Class C in East Rochester Gananda. And although Leroy failed to pass that test, they did beat rival Calmon Byron Burgeon in week 1, and now a good start against Hornell. Here's Strollo breaking into the secondary for a gain of about 12. 1st and 10 for Leroy. Strollo, like the Energizer Bunny out there.
It'll be 1st down and 10.
Seems like when he gets the ball, he's already 5 yards into the Hornell defense.
And that'll end the first quarter.
And that'll do it here for the first quarter of play. Leroy with a 16-0 lead over visiting Hornell. We take a quick break as we bring you our sponsors for tonight's broadcast. Beginning with scoreboard sponsor and athlete of the game sponsor, Casella Waste. Casella, are you looking for residential pickup at your house, a dumpster, or roll-off service for your place of business? Call Casella Waste and check out our great rates. Also, TF Brown's in Batavia. Whether you're looking for a great place for lunch or dinner, a place to relax and enjoy a beverage, or a place to hold any type of party or get-together, TF Brown's is ready to meet your needs and budget. Also, the Whiting Law Firm, a general practice in Leroy with an office in Batavia as well. The Whitings are able to meet your local legal needs via thorough and practical advice. George & Swede Sales and Service, a full-service equipment dealership located in Pavilion, New York. Whether you need excavators, wheel loaders, trailers, rollers, or skid steers, George & Swede has the equipment you need, including Hyundai construction equipment. Also, Kenneth Klein and Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. Contact Kenneth Klein your hometown realtor, 297-0764 for more information. We have a few more sponsors to get to, and we will in a moment. But Leroy takes back over to begin the second quarter. Ball at their own 39-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Knights. Man in motion is Tony Piazza. Handoff goes to Strollo. And that's going to be a gain of about 7, 2nd and 3 coming up for Leroy. And I went back to the beginning. That's my apologies. So we're going to have to scroll through here. Our next sponsor is a sweet one, Sweet Betty's, serving lunch, dinner, homemade desserts, and 30 flavors of Perry's ice cream. Check us on our Facebook page for our daily specials. That's Sweet Betty's right here in Leroy. So 2nd and 3 coming up for the Knights, 11 and a half minutes to go in the first half. Turn around, handoff. Here comes Strollo once again, near the sideline. That's going to be a first down, Knights. This game also brought to you by Leroy Federal Credit Union. LFCU has been serving our members for 60 years. Leroy Federal Credit Union, owned by you, working for you. Bubba's Landscape in Leroy. Call Bubba's Landscape for all your residential and commercial lawn treatment needs. 768-6578. So Leroy on the move inside Hornell territory. Ball at the 48-yard line. Drew Strollo continues his strong night running the football, but looked like Leroy flinched there before the snap. It's going to back them up. Going to be a 1st and 15 coming up for Leroy. This game also brought to you by Western New York Concrete. Pave your way to success. Contact us today for custom concrete driveways, custom concrete patios, and more. Western New York Concrete, 343-6850. Beyond Driven Athletic Training. Increase your strength, speed, agility, and vertical with the same strength program that powers the Leroy football program, along with countless other local athletes. 1st and 15 for the Knights. Handoff. And a good stand there from Hornell, limiting Brock Flint to only a 4-yard gain. 2nd and 11 coming up for Leroy here. Also, Ankle and Foot Centers of Western New York. Dr. George Vito has over 30 years of experience and strives to deliver the best ankle and foot care in Western New York. Call today, a location near you. So 2nd and 11 here for Leroy. Penapeno takes the snap. Quick throw. He has Ryswick for a first down. So the quick slant to Ryswick. Good hands on the high and away throw. But that moves the sticks. Ryswick. Another big play here for Leroy.
37-yard line.
And lastly, Empire Tractor in Batavia. Empire Tractor, here to help you grow. Proud to sell Dixie Chopper zero-turn mowers, which is the world's fastest mower. And they're now selling and servicing the Coyote line of tractors, mowers, and utility vehicles. So here's the Knights continuing their drive following the completion to Ryswick. Handoff goes to Flint, but he's tracked down. A nice play made by number 50 for Hornell. We must have their home roster. It's all that was available online. Makes it difficult when the teams only list one jersey on the roster. They did make the slash for a reason. So let me reset our clock here. It's actually 8:40 to go. So I failed to start the clock at one moment. And it's 2nd and 10 coming up for Leroy. Penapena looking to throw once again, going downfield, but out of the reach of Ryswick, and it falls incomplete. 3rd and 10 coming up for the Knights. And you're seeing the offensive struggles for Leroy continue in this game, as a failed drive on their last possession and a 3rd and long once again here. Very difficult when you already have trouble moving the football, when you set yourself up with long down and distance, especially on 3rd down. So split shotgun formation, Strollo And Piazza in the backfield. Penna going deep, wide open. Ryswick for the touchdown. Boy, that was easy. Ryswick wide open in the secondary. And Penna finds him for the long pitch and catch. Leroy adds to its lead, 23-0. 8:31 remaining in this first half. Blown coverage there from Hornell as there was no one within about 40 yards of Ryswick. So here's the kick from Hockey. Up and through. Hockey 3 for 3 as Leroy adds to its advantage. And I'll tell you what, for a team that struggled to create offense, they could use some big plays like that. Ryswick gets behind everybody into the end zone for the touchdown. So as you've seen, if you followed along with our Batavia Daily News streams this season, we have yet to see a close game, and this one really turning into another blowout here at Hartwood Park. You won't see touchdowns come much easier than that. As Ryswick finds pay dirt for the second time this evening. And I'll tell you what, that Casella Waste athlete of the game, in the early going, your front runner, 1, Adam Ryswick. Have a drink, young man. You've earned it.
Leroy will kick. Robbie Newmark setting it up.
So we've yet to see who will win the Battle of the Bands at halftime, but the battle on the field in favor of Leroy with 8:31 to go here in the first half. Not much of a battle thus far, as Hornell has struggled to move the football and has encountered several mistakes here this evening. So here comes Baker on the return. Doesn't go for much. He's dropped at about the 25-yard line, and that's where Hornell will begin its drive. Tony Piazza on the stop for the Knights.
Raiders will start 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
My apologies. It's, in fact, 23-0. I had 24. That touchdown came so quickly, I didn't know what to do.
Defensive front line, number 57, Zach Vanderhook. Number
So
26,
23-0 Leroy with 8:22 remaining here in the second quarter. Nasca rolls out, going deep, had Baker, but it goes off his hands. Nasca has made 2 good throws on the run over the top, but his receivers have just not been able to come up with the catches. And that brings up a 2nd and 10 for Hornell now.
Linebacker number 40, Tyler Strollo.
Tyler Strollo
Drew Strollo.
on the coverage, it appeared.
33, Zach Tonzi. Number 22, Brock Flint.
Maybe not. Maybe Scott Ripley is just announcing players here. So 8:16 to go in the first half. Hornell
And the Knights defense.
nowhere to go as Xavier Patrick is driven back.
Ty Strollo
3rd and
Zach
12
Tonzi
coming up now.
Make the stop. Jack. 3rd and 11 for the Red Raiders.
So nothing doing for the Hornell offense throughout this first half. Whereas Leroy, 2 offensive scores, a safety on special teams, and a touchdown on special teams. So the Leroy offense outscoring the Leroy special teams 14-9 in the early going. 3rd and 12. Nasca looking to throw under pressure, and he's dropped. Tyler Strollo in there on the tackle. That's a sack, and it's going to bring up 4th and about 16.
16 for the Red Raiders.
So not to be outdone by Drew Strollo, Tyler Strollo also making his presence felt here.
Drew Strollo.
Team Strollo really making an impact here. Another bad snap. And that's into the end zone. Hornell, are they able to make it out? They are not. Another safety for the Leroy special teams. Boy, oh boy, it goes from bad to worse for the Red Raiders, as it's now 25-0. And Leroy will get the ball back here. My goodness gracious. This is not what you want if you're Hornell, to say the least. So really a disappointing effort here from Hornell. They come in at 2-0, and thus far they've laid an egg here at Hartwood Park. Head coach Eric Werner cannot be happy what he's seen, especially from his special teams this evening. 2 errant snaps over the head of punter Nicholas Oyer that have gone back into the end zone and been turned into safeties by Leroy. And then obviously the Ryswick punt return, the first time Leroy touched the ball tonight. So it's really been a disaster for the Hornell special teams, and they're on the field once again here to kick it away to Leroy.
Number 20, Nicholas Oyer, kicking off for the Red Raiders.
I'm not sure if you can see it, but the bugs here, oh my gosh, they're ferocious. So here's the kick from Hornell. Ryswick collects it on the return. Dodging defenders, still on his feet. Across midfield, Adam Ryswick continues his strong start to this game with another strong return.
Great bring back to make it across the Red Raiders.
So Leroy will start its drive at about the 47 of Hornell. 1st and 10 for the Knights with 6:32 remaining in the half. It's going to take quite an effort to pull the Casella Waste athlete of the game away from young Adam Ryswick. 1st and 10 for Leroy. Penapeno under center. Handoff. Here comes Strollo, runs into Ryswick, but he's still able to gain about 4 more yards. That's going to be a 1st down for Leroy, gain of about 11 for Strollo.
Gary for another 1st down for the Owaka Knights. Tackled by number 36, John.
So John Mikhalichik on the tackle. Took a stab at that one. Handoff up the middle. Looked like Piazza on the carry. Doesn't go for much, but about a 3-yard gain. Brings up a 2nd and 7.
Three-yard gain to be 2nd down and 7. And the correction on
Mikhalichik.
36 for Red Raiders. John Mikhalichik.
A for effort, Scott Ripley on that pronunciation. A for effort. That's a tough one. Not much you can do with that one.
Timeout called. The Knights.
Timeout called by Leroy. with 5:29 remaining in the half. That is their first, as Hornell has already called one. So 25-0, Leroy leads. 2nd and 7 coming up. 5:29 to go in the half. Once again, you take a look at our sponsors. And another reminder, we will be awarding the TF Top Trench Performer at the end of this game. Zach Vanderhoof, a step in the right direction with his performance in this first half. A tackle for loss, while also guiding this Leroy offensive line to a quality start. The Whiting Law Firm, also a proud sponsor of the Batavia Daily News live streams. Georgian Swede Sales and Service, Kenneth Klein and Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. Sweet Betty's Restaurant and Ice Cream Shop. Leroy Federal Credit Union. Bubba's Landscape. Western New York Concrete. Beyond Driven Athletic Training.
2nd down and 7.
Ankle and Foot Centers of Western New York, and Empire Tractor. So here comes the 2nd and 7 for Leroy. Handoff right up the middle. Strollo bursts through. That's going to be a first down.
Drew Strollo with a carry down to the 23-yard line for a first down for the Wagon Knights.
So on your Casella Way scoreboard, 5:20 remaining here in the second quarter. Leroy blowing out Hornell as they face another fresh set of downs here in Red Raiders territory. And off, Strollo powering his way through the line of scrimmage for a gain of about 4. 2nd and 6 coming up.
Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Knights.
Another quick reminder, we would like you to stick around at halftime. I believe we'll have some band action as both bands are in attendance here this evening. We may see a performance from each of them, maybe a collective performance, who knows? I'm excited to see what these fine musical programs have on tap for us this evening. 2nd and 6 coming up for Leroy. 4.5 minutes to go in the half. And here come the Oaken Knight faithful. Penapeno looking to throw, gets it away, it's complete. Robbie Newmark on the reception for a gain of about 5. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 1 coming up for the Knights.
It'll be 3rd down and short for the Knights.
We have a lost phone at Hartwood Park. Never a good feeling to lose your phone. Really one of the worst feelings ever, if we're being honest. So good luck to that young man. 3rd and 1 coming up for Leroy here. Penapeno goes under center. Piazza, the up back, takes it. Ball comes out. Piazza coughed it up forward, and Hornell falls on it. A mistake from Leroy, and the Red Raiders are going to take over 1st and 10 with 3:35 to go in the first half at about their own 13-yard line.
13-yard line.
So exactly what Hornell needed there, a turnover, as Leroy was approaching the end zone once again.
.333 left until half.
So here's Nasca awaiting the snap as Hornell is taken back over. Nasca looking to throw. Nice strong throw, but it's incomplete. Tell you what, Nasca has shown good ability throwing the football. His receivers have let him down here this evening. He's put the ball on the money at least 3 times and suffered 3 drops.
Second down and 10.
So 2nd and 10 coming up for Hornell now. As I would imagine, Nasca will continue to throw as the Hornell running game has not been able to muster anything. And goes in motion. Nasca takes the snap, turns around, hands it off. And the ball carrier is dropped, I believe, in the backfield by 58, Ryan Higgins. And that is going to be a loss on the play. 3rd and 11 coming up for Hornell. Higgins bursts into the backfield and drops the ball carrier for a loss.
3rd down and 11.
So yet again, a 3rd and long here for Hornell.
3 minutes left till half.
Masco looking to throw, going deep, has a man off the fingertips once again. Baker had a man beat, Nasca put it up for grabs, and Baker let it go off his fingertips. Would have been a tough catch, but certainly a catchable ball once again from Nasca, as he's given his wide receivers opportunities here tonight.
Brings it 4th down.
4th and 11 coming up for the Red Raiders. 2.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. And so here's Oyer,
Drew Strollo and Adam Reiswick
suffering from nightmares from his previous 2 snaps that have resulted in safeties. This one a little bit high, but manageable as Oyer is able to get the punt away. And here comes Reiswick on the run, and he's inside Hornell territory, dropped at about the 34-yard line. 1st and 10 coming up for the Knights, 2:23 remaining in the half. Leroy already with a 25-0 lead.
2:23
2 timeouts remaining for Leroy as they look to pour it on here in the second quarter.
Will Eschenberg in the game. 75, Ryan Murphy.
So Reiswick and Brady Fix are wide, but the handoff goes to Drew Strollo. Up the middle, a good gain of about 7 yards. 2nd and 3 coming up. Maybe I jumped the gun. 2nd and 5 coming up, about a 5-yard gain.
It'll be 2nd down and 5.
So we've reached the 2-minute mark. Penapeno under center. Piazza and Strollo behind him. Fakes the handoff, looking to throw. Curl route, and it's intercepted. Baker has not been able to come up with a few catches on offense, but able to grab that one for the interception. 1st and 10 coming up for Hornell. Another turnover created by the Red Raiders defense. The fumble on the previous drive, and now the interception. And Leroy encountering some struggles here late in the second quarter. Aside from the 2 turnovers, it's been pretty much a perfect night for Leroy. One came running the football, one came throwing the football. It's Leroy, ball security issues here. Nasca takes the snap, looking to throw. Quick throw, this one out of the reach of Baker. Didn't have a chance. And that's going to bring up a 2nd and 10.
2nd down and 10.
So as we get set to close out this first half, as Hornell faces a 2nd and long here, we'd like to remind you to stay tuned at halftime for the 2 bands that are likely to be performing. So 2nd and 10 for Hornell. Nasca takes the snap. Flag comes in.
Flag on the play.
As I'm not sure if the ball came out there. False start on the Raiders. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 15.
It's a 5-yard penalty. It'll be 2nd down and 15 for the Red Raiders.
Nazca takes the snap, takes it himself, fighting his way forward for a gain of about 4.
Quarterback keeper for 5 yards. 4.
It's going to be a 3rd and
It'll be
11
third
coming
down
up as
and 11
Leroy
for the Red Raiders.
takes another timeout with 1:30
Timeout is called.
to play here in the half. That's going to give us a head start on thanking our sponsors here leading into halftime. Casella Waste, your #1 provider for all your waste and recycling
At a
needs.
request
Casella,
from,
always putting your waste to
a
work. Call
fan that lost his cell phone.
330-0662 today for a
If
quote.
you
Also,
find a
TF
cell
Browns
phone on the ground
in
and it's
Batavia.
not yours,
TF's
we
is
have
ready to
somebody
meet
that
your needs
is
and
looking
budget.
for their cell phone.
Whether you're looking for a great place for lunch or dinner, a place to relax and enjoy a beverage, or a place to hold any type of party or get-together, TF Browns, like I said, ready to meet your needs and budget. Whiting Law Firm. Reed has 38-plus years of legal experience and works alongside his sons, Jake and John. The Whitings are able to meet your local legal needs via thorough and practical advice. George & Sweet Sales and Service, a full-service equipment dealership located in Pavilion. George & Sweet has been a dealer of Hyundai construction equipment since 1994, selling and servicing Hyundai machines longer than anyone in the state. Howard Hanna, Real Estate Services, and Realtor Kenneth Klein. Kenneth, your hometown realtor, provides you with the same level of service when purchasing or selling your home. You can count on Kenneth to be there every step of the way. 297-0764 for more information. Also, Sweet Betty's right here in Leroy, serving lunch, dinner, homemade desserts, and 30 flavors of Perry's ice cream. Call now, 502-6084. That's Sweet Betty's in Leroy. Open every day except Tuesdays. 15 Main Street in the Village. So 1:30 remaining as a 3rd and long for Hornell. Looked like someone jumped.
False start for the Red Raiders.
False start. 3rd and 16 coming up now. We'd also like to thank Leroy Federal Credit Union. LFCU has been serving their members for 60 years, bringing them a hometown feel with welcoming customer service and a feeling like you have control over your finances. Leroy Federal Credit Union, owned by you, working for you. Bubba's Landscape in Leroy. All your residential and commercial lawn treatment needs. You will spend less time on lawn care and more time doing things you love. Call now for an estimate, 768-6578. Western New York Concrete Corporation, pave your way to success. Since 1946, we've been proud to provide our concrete services throughout the Genesee County area and the rest of Western New York. Contact us today for custom concrete driveways, custom concrete patios, and more. Western New York Concrete, 343-6850. Beyond Driven Athletic Training. Increase your strength, speed, agility, and vertical with the same strength program that powers the Leroy football team and countless other local athletes. Now accepting new athlete applications at BeyondDriven.com. Find out what it means to be a Beyond Driven athlete. Ankle and Foot Centers of Western New York. Dr. George Vito has over 30 years of experience. Visit us online, Ankle and Foot Centers of WesternNewYork.com, or call today, a location near you. Nazca complete this time as he's able to find Caleb Galloway for a gain of about 5. That's still gonna bring up about a 4th and 8 here, with 1:23 to go in the half.
Gain of 9. It'll be 4th down and about 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there.
So Hornell will punt it away on the 4th and 8 and give it back to Leroy. Another high snap. This one goes back into the end zone, and it's a touchdown. Jack Tonzi. Jack Lathan, excuse me. A jack of all trades here as he falls on the football for the recovery. For the touchdown, Leroy piling it on. It's now 31-zip. Excuse me, got the jacks confused there. A lot of jacks. But it all equals a 31-0 Leroy lead on the 3rd errant snap by the Hornell punting team. My, oh my, something needs to be figured out there at halftime. Hockey up and through. He remains perfect. It's 32-0.
Good score at 32. Waco Knights. Red Raiders.
Last but
0.
not least, we'd like to thank Empire Tractor, empiretractor.com, or visit in person right in front of the Genesee County Fairgrounds. ET, your local New Holland dealer, selling a full range of tractors and farm equipment. This first half has gone from bad to worse for Hornell. 3 errant snaps on punts, 2 have resulted in safeties, 1 in a touchdown. They've also given up a punt return for a touchdown and 2 touchdowns to the Leroy offense. And it hasn't been all gumdrops and rainbows for Leroy. They've turned the ball over twice, but they still lead 32-0. It's been that bad of a night for the Red Raiders.
Robbie Newmark setting up the ball for the kickoff.
So with 1:12 remaining in the half, Hornell might have to consider kneeling on it here. Just get out of this half without any further damage, as nothing has gone right for the Red Raiders here. Kickoff. Clock begins to wind as Baker takes it on the return.
Baker with a catch. Knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line knocked out by number 17, Antonio Martinez. Red Raiders will be first and 10 at the 30-yard line. Minute 05 left until half.
All right, so 1:05 remaining. Hornell looking to go back at it here. Nasca takes the snap, looking to throw under duress, and he is spun down and driven into the ground by Leroy senior Zach Vanderhoof. Loss of 5, 2nd and 15 coming up for the Raiders. The clock continues to wind. We may see only 1 or 2 more plays for Hornell here. An update, a rematch of the Class D championship between Avon and Alexander. Avon with a 12-10 lead at the end of the 3rd quarter at Alexander High School. Handoff up the middle. Might have been the best gain from Hornell on the ground tonight. Xavier Patrick. No, not much of a gain there. Looks like it just goes back to the line of scrimmage. Tough angle for me. And that's going to do it for this first half here at Hartwood Park. Leroy well out in front, 32-0 over Hornell. We await the Battle of the Bands at halftime. We urge you to stay tuned. As you see the bands making their way to the field here, you see in front of you the Hornell Red Raiders marching band. And on the field, the Marching Knights.
Lucky winner on your 50-50. It is a white and blue ticket on your 50-50. The number is 001398. Come to the concession. Come up here to the booth. see Mr. Sammons, and he'll give you your $110. And then we got a drawing for the raffle basket. Drum roll, please, for the raffle basket. The winner of the raffle basket is Kelly Canelli.
And I do have to take a break here as I make my way to the restroom, so I hope I get the entire performance here as I leave it about as wide as the camera can go and enjoy the halftime entertainment here at Hardwood Park.
Come one, come all to see the highly awaited performance. Sit back, relax, and let us transform you back to the Barnum and Bailey Circus with music from the critically acclaimed film, The Greatest Showman. Together we will explore the theme and acceptance, courage, and celebrating our unique differences with the show packed with powerful music. So grab some popcorn, find a seat, and welcome to the show. Drum majors are Caleb Burl and Lexi Clarkey. You may take the field. Let's hear it one more time for the marching band. Your Night Marching Band. Fans of Leroy, if you see Coach Green tonight, wish him happy birthday. He's 40 today. Coach Green is 40. Let's hear it for Coach Green. The winner on the 50-50 was Julie Stewart of Hornell.
All right, I guess no battle of the bands, but we did have a band. As the Leroy Marching Band exits the field, we take a quick audio break here at Hartwood Park. All right, here we go. We're back for the second half
Deep, number 44.
as Leroy is getting set
Adam Reiswick, and number
to
34,
return
Drew
the opening
Strollo.
kickoff of the third quarter. The Knights crushing Hornell in this game, 32-0. They've really done it in all phases. Points on special teams as well as offense, and their defense has come through with a strong performance as well. So here's Drew Strollo, who had a fine first half running the football for the Leroy offense on the return, and there he goes across midfield and into Hornell territory. Ball will be spotted at about the 47-yard line as the Knights begin their first drive of this second half. First and foremost, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Casella Waste, TF Browns, the Whiting Law Firm, George and Swede Sales and Service, Howard Hanna Real Estate Services and Realtor Kenneth Klein, Sweet Betty's Restaurant and Ice Cream Shop in Leroy. We'll get to a few others here. Ball is snapped. Penapeno hands it off to Strollo.
Strollo with a carry.
We'd also like to thank Leroy Federal Credit Union, Bubba's Landscape,
Number 78, the Red Raiders.
Western New York Concrete Corporation, Beyond Driven
Second down and 7.
Athletic Training, Ankle and Foot Centers of Western New York, and of course, Empire Tractor. So we'll tell you more about those sponsors as this second half progresses. We'd also like to remind you the Casella Waste scoreboard is there for you at the bottom of the screen. Handoff, Strollo carries it once again. Bouncing off tacklers, flag comes in. Strollo's still on his feet. That's going to be a first down. Following the 2nd and 7 as I failed to change the down and distance, but it looks like it's going to be a hold or a block in the back maybe.
Block in the back by the
Called
Raiders.
on the Knights.
The Knights.
So I believe that's going to bring up a 2nd and long here.
Strollo
We'll see
taken
where
down
the
to the
spot of the
30
foul is.
With the penalty marked
So
off.
it's going to be a 2nd and about 10 as the spot of the foul was right at about the first down marker.
It'll be
So
close to
11:06
second
as we
down and
reset our clock
10
here.
For the
And it's going to be second, we're going to call it 11 here as the ball is placed behind the original line of scrimmage. So Penapeno takes it, quick throw, and it's complete. Robbie Newmark on the reception, still on his feet, but the whistle was blown.
Johnny
Whistle
Penn
was
pass
blown after
caught
a
by
gain
number
of
5,
about
Robbie
7.
Newmark.
That's going to bring up a 3rd and 3.
Third down and 4 for the Knights.
Newmark thought he was still on his feet, but the whistle was blown. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down for Leroy here. Also, the Casella Waste Athlete of the Game coming up to be awarded near the end of the 4th quarter, along with the TF Browns Trench Performer. Handoff, Strollo, chopped down, a nice tackle made by Caleb
Strollo with a
Galloway.
carry. Close to the first down.
It's close to the first down, but it's not going to be quite there.
It's gonna
4th
be
and
4th
1, I
and 1.
believe, coming up for Leroy. Looks very close, but no, it's going to be 4th and 1 here for Leroy. 10 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter as the Knights look to convert here on 4th and 1. They keep the offense on the field. Snap. Penapeno takes it himself. That's going to be enough for a first down.
Johnny Penapento with a carry. First down, the Wacker Knights.
So Penapeno does it himself, keeps the drive alive for Leroy here to begin the 3rd.
Ball's 1st and 10 at the 31.
Approaching the 9-minute mark. Penapeno takes a snap, looking to throw, going deep down the middle, but he overthrows
Pass
Reiswick.
intended to number 44, Adam Ryswick, incomplete. Second down and 10.
2nd and 10 coming up for Leroy as you see Penapeno on the sideline talking things over with head coach Brian Herdline. He's done a nice job with this Leroy program after taking over for longtime head coach and legend Brian Moran. Herdline, a Batavia High School alum and a Batavia Athletic Hall of Famer. Part of the 1998 Batavia Boys Basketball Sectional Championship team. A big part of that team was Herdline. I believe he was a junior that year. But a phenomenal three-sport athlete, baseball, quarterback of the football team.
Maybe third down and still
A key part of the basketball team as well was Herdline. So an athletic background, a phys ed teacher here in the Leroy district, and he's been at the helm of the Leroy football program for quite some time now. So 3rd and about 8 coming up for Leroy. Penapeno fakes the fullback handoff, flips it to Strollo, but Hornell does a nice job sniffing it out.
Colin McCumsky with a tackle for the Red Raiders. Stu Strollo with a carry.
So that's going to bring up 4th down and about 6 coming up for Leroy. So 4th and long, Leroy keeping the offense on the field once again. Inside 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. They lead 32-0. Piazza in motion. Penapeno looking to throw. As a man, it's complete. Piazza out of bounds, takes the ref down with him. That's not going to be enough for the first down. Turnover on downs. Hornell is going to take back over here with 7:53 remaining in the 3rd. Hope the official's okay as he got chopped down there on the sideline, but he's back on his feet. He appears to be okay.
26-yard line.
So 1st and 10 coming up for the Red Raiders here as they look to get things going in the 3rd quarter. Couldn't manage anything in the first half, but see if the second half is a different story. It appears as if their first drive is off to a rough start. That's going to be a false start
on the Red Raiders.
1st and 15 coming up for
5-yard
Hornell now.
It'll be 1st down and 15. At the 21-yard line.
Here we go, 1st and 15 coming up for Hornell. Man in motion. Nasca. No, it's not Nasca. It's Mason Drew back there to take the snap. He takes the direct snap, and really not much of a gain there as it's now 3rd and very, very long.
Mason Drew with a carry.
No, it's 2nd and very, very long. My apologies. 2nd and about 18.
Second down and 17 for the Red Raiders.
See who's back there to take the snap. It appears as if it's Nasca. No, it's not. Once again, it's Drew tricking me once again. So a gain of about 3. That's going to bring up 3rd and 15 now.
Tackled by Leroy, number 26.
Yeah, we'll call it 3rd
Fisher.
and 14, a gain of about 4.
Third down and 14 for the Red Raiders.
3rd and 14 for Hornell here. Snap. Looking to throw is Drew, the lefty. And that pass is complete. And it's going to bring up a 4th down and manageable. We'll see if Hornell will go for it. 4th and about 3. As Drew, his first passing attempt of the game. Nothing to lose if you're Hornell here. As it appears as if they'll keep the offense on the field with 5:40 remaining in the 3rd, facing a 4th and 3. So 4th down play coming up. A packed backfield for Hornell. Drew takes the snap, gets the handoff, space on the outside. That's going to be a 1st down for Hornell.
With the run, it's going to be a 1st down for the Red Raiders.
That's Hornell's first 1st down this evening. And it comes with 5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. What an effort from the Leroy defense here tonight, as even gaining that 1st down was not easy. So fresh set here for the Red Raiders. Ball at their own 35-yard line. Drew still the man taking the snaps. The lefty slings it, and it goes into the dirt. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Complete. Intended to Caleb Galloway.
Intended target was Galloway. And looks like we have an injured Knight on the field.
Time is called.
So we're going to take a quick break here with the injured Knight on the field, and I'm going to take a drink of water. It appears as if Drew Strollo is down on the field. So it appears as if Strollo's cramping here, as Leroy athletic trainer Amanda Shefflin out there stretching him out. Strollo back on his feet now.
Let's hear for Drew Strollo.
But he's slow to come off the field, carrying a limp with him. So as you saw, flash before your screen, our sponsors here tonight. Casella Waste, your #1 service provider for all your waste and recycling needs. Also, TF Browns in Batavia, ready to meet your needs and budget. TF Browns, whether you're looking for a great place to relax and enjoy a beverage or a place to hold any type of party or get-together, visit TF Browns today. The Whiting Law Firm, 31 West Main Street in Leroy, also an office in Batavia, a general practice with 38-plus years of experience, family-owned and operated. So 4:34 remaining here in the 3rd. Hornell's drive will continue following the injury to Strollo. Ball is handed up the middle.
Tackled by number 30, Tony Piazza.
As Tony Piazza's in there for the tackle for Leroy. It's going to bring up about a 3rd and 9.
Down and 9.
Time ticking under 4 minutes to go. We also thank Georgian Swede Sales and Service, 7155 Big Tree Road in Pavilion. Proud seller of Hyundai construction equipment, also sales, parts, and rentals of other construction equipment. Drew going deep down the sideline. Looked like 17 Antonio Martinez had a chance to pick that off, but it was just out of reach, and now we have an injured Red Raider on the field. So we'd also like to thank Howard Hanna Realtor Kenneth Klein, licensed real estate salesperson, 570 East Main Street in Batavia, 297-0764. Ask Kenneth about the 100% money-back guarantee. Also, Sweet Betty's restaurant and ice cream shop right here in Leroy, 15 Main Street. You can email them at betty@sweetbettys15main.com. That's betty@sweetbettys15main.com. 502-6084. That's Sweet Betty's, serving lunch, dinner, and over 30 flavors of Perry's ice cream. Also, homemade desserts, boba tea, a lot to offer at Sweet Betty's here in Leroy. Also, Leroy Federal Credit Union, owned by you, working for you since 1958. 7093 West Main Road on Route 5 in Leroy, 768-7207. That's Leroy Federal Credit Union.
4th and 9 for the Red
Bubba's
Raiders.
Landscape, whether you're looking for walkways, retaining walls, hardscapes, landscapes, bed maintenance, lawn care, or fertilization, Bubba's Landscape, ready to meet your needs. 81 Lake Street in Leroy, 768-6576. So the injured Hornell player is off the field. It's going to be 4th and 9 here for the Red Raiders, and they will punt the ball back to the Knights. A high kick, bouncer, comes down at about the 40. He comes to rest at about the 28-yard line. That's where Leroy will begin its drive. Also, Western New York Concrete Corporation, quality ready-mix concrete, 638 East Main Street in Batavia, 343-6850 or toll-free, 1-800-873-8826. Beyond Driven Athletic Training, ready for athletes 4th through 12th grade. BeyondDriven.com, 204-7229, now accepting new athlete applications. Strength, speed, agility. Get trained by the same athletic training program that trains the Leroy football program. So hand off to Flint.
Flint in the carry.
It's going to bring up about 2nd and 5.
Gain of 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Knights.
The Ankle and Foot Centers of Western New York, also a proud sponsor here tonight. 34 Swan Street in Batavia. That's Suite 3 at 34 Swan Street, right across from the Polka Dot, I believe. Maybe I shouldn't say that because I'm not sure what that is. But 34 Swan Street, no, that wouldn't be across from the Polka Dot. That would be across from the barbecue joint. My apologies. John Swan Street, 34 Swan Street, my apologies, but as a pizza delivery man, I should know that. But it's the Ankle and Foot Centers of Western New York, Dr. George Vito, over 30 years of experience. Ankle and Foot Centers of Western New York.com. Call today for a location near you. As I forget to stop the clock here, there's 2:23 remaining in the third, as Leroy is called for its 2nd timeout. No, excuse me, it's 1st timeout of the half. And it's going to have a 1st down, or no, excuse me, I'm so busy reading the advertisements. There's an injured Hornell player down on the field. My apologies. Ankle and Foot Centers of Western New York. And then finally, Empire Tractor. We're here to help you grow. 5072 East Main Street, 343-1822. That's EmpireTractor.com. Selling a full range of tractors and farm equipment, Empire Tractor is proud to sell Dixie
First
Chopper
down and 10 for the
zero-turn
Knights.
mowers, which is the world's fastest mower, and they are now selling and servicing the Coyote line of tractors, mowers, and utility vehicles. EmpireTractor.com. Visit us today right in front of the Genesee County Fairgrounds. 2:23 on the clock in the third. Knights. 1st and 10, approaching midfield. Piazza in motion. Flip goes to Flint. Ooh, he's chased down and a big hit delivered by big number 75 from Hornell. That's Dylan Coots.
Quentin Stillman. 2nd down and 10.
2nd and 10. Coming up for Leroy with time winding down here. So an update from around Section 5. Geneseo Mount Morris, 36-14 winners over Cuba Rushford Hinesdale. And once again, that's a final. Geneseo Mount Morris with its first win of the season.
3rd and 5.5.
So 3rd and about 5 coming up. Snap, handoff, right up the middle. New ball carrier for Leroy. That's number 26, Emmanuel Fisher.
Fisher takes it to the 50-yard line.
That's going to bring up a 4th
Knights will be short.
and about
It'll be 4th
2.
down and about 2.
Inside a minute to go here in the 3rd. So first carry for Fisher here is, let me reset our clock. We're a bit behind. We're at about 25 seconds remaining here in the 3rd. 4th and 2 coming up for Leroy. They'll keep the offense on the field. Man in motion was 33 Jack Tonzi. Ball comes out. Fisher coughs it up. Hornell recovers.
Will get the ball.
And with 4 seconds remaining in the 3rd, the Red Raiders will take back over inside Knights territory. 1st and 10, ball placed at about the 49-yard line. Fisher, his 2nd carry of the game, didn't result in a carry. Ball came out before he was able to gain possession. And on 4th down, Leroy turns it over. Final play of the 3rd coming up. We will head to the 4th. Leroy will likely take a 32-0 lead with it into the final 12 minutes of play. Drew remains at quarterback for Hornell, but much of the Hornell starters remain on the field. So here we go. 4 seconds remaining here. 1st and 10. Drew, the shotgun snap, takes it, flips it. Here comes Ryan Buzzer. That's a gain of about 1. But we did have a whistle. Not sure what the whistle was for, but
the 3rd quarter play.
we're going to have 2nd and 9 coming up for Hornell to begin the 4th quarter. Leroy takes a 32-0 lead into the 4th. All right, so here we go, getting ready to resume play to begin the fourth quarter. As Leroy with a second, or excuse me, Hornell with a 2nd and 9 here. Apologies. A little late with the sponsors there. That's on me. Tried to get the cycle, perfect timing, but rarely ever happens.
Stop short.
Player tractor rounds it out.
3rd down and 10 for the Red Raiders.
So 3rd and 10 coming up now for Hornell as we reset our clock to 11:30.
Sean Zerka with a
go
tackle
here in the
for
fourth.
the Knights.
So 3rd and 10 for the Red Raiders. Drew remains in that pistol shotgun formation. A wobbly throw from Drew on 3rd down, falls incomplete. Clock stops with 11:02
4th down and 10 for the Red Raiders.
remaining here, and it's now going to be a 4th down and 10. So Hornell will punt, and we've seen their punting unit really struggle here tonight, so hopeful that Hornell can get one off clean here. Thankfully for the Red Raiders, they're nowhere near the end zone, so if they do have another high snap, I don't believe it would go into the end zone, but this one a good one. Hornell gets the punt away. Ryswick on the run, but he's chased down. Good punt coverage there. Number 3 for Hornell, John McCumsky. A nice job on the punt coverage.
McCumsky with the stop.
So
for the
1st
Red
and
Raiders.
10 coming up for Leroy. 10:52 remaining in this game as the Knights look to salt this one
That should
away.
be 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line.
It's been all Leroy from the start. It all started the 9-minute and 30-second mark. Adam Ryswick, a punt return for a touchdown, followed by a Drew Strollo touchdown, a safety, another Ryswick touchdown, a safety, and the rest is really history, as it's been all Knights here this evening. A good burst from Brock Flint right up the gut. And that's going to be enough for a 1st down. So strong running from Brock Flint moves the chains for Leroy.
Falls at the 41-yard line.
So that's what it's going to take for Leroy to wind this clock. A few more 1st downs and strong running from Flint here, who seems to have taken over for Strollo, who left the game with cramps, or what appeared to be cramps. Flint up the middle.
With a carry, flag on the play.
Flag comes in. Gain of about 5, but we'll see what the penalty is. It's going to be a hold on the Knights that will set them back. And flag came right at about the line of scrimmage, so that's going to be about a 1st and 20 coming up for the Knights.
10-yard penalty.
10:23
So it's going to be 1st down
remaining
and about
here
19-20 for
as the Knights are going the wrong way.
like the Knights.
Penapeno remains in a quarterback. He flips it out. He finds Newmark, who has a few catches on the night. And he's going to fall forward. About a gain of 7. 2nd and 13 coming up.
Gain about 7. 2nd down and about 13.
So one will wonder if Penapeno will exit this game at any time. Leroy does not have a backup quarterback listed on its roster. So Penapeno could be getting the Tom Brady treatment here. 2nd and 13. And another flag comes in, this one pre-snap. Going to be somewhat of a procedure penalty on the Knights.
On Roy.
2nd and 18 coming up now.
5-yard penalty.
So if you're Leroy, the few concerns here tonight, the couple of turnovers and a few penalties now. But it's otherwise been a fantastic effort here from the black, red, and white. And boy, are these jerseys black. Or these uniforms, I should say. From head to toe, that Leroy black. Still proudly worn by this Owatkin Knights football team. So handoff goes to Flynn. Another flag comes in. This one behind the line of scrimmage. I believe it's in the area of holding. So 2nd and I believe about 28 coming up now, as the flag was thrown right at about the line of scrimmage. It's always interesting to me, a fairly flag-free affair here for much of the game, and now with the game out of hand in the 4th quarter, the flags begin to fly.
2nd down and about 26.
And they're all coming near the line of scrimmage here. So you got to wonder if the Knights are just starting to hold or if they're just starting to be seen here with under 9 minutes to go. So big number 40, Tyler Strollo on the carry.
Strollo with a carry.
We had a number change with Strollo prior to the game. So he's out of order on my number sheet, but I do have the correct number listed.
Gain about 3, so it's going to be 3rd down.
So 3rd and a mile coming up for the Knights.
24.
Going to take a miracle here, as I believe that they'll look to throw here. Approaching the 8-minute mark. Penna will go under center. But no, he decides to flip it to Flint, looking to get the edge, and he's run out of bounds. That's going to be a short gain of about 1 yard.
By number 18.
4th and about 24 coming up.
Going to be 4th down and long for the Knights.
Haven't seen many punts from the Knights here tonight, but one coming up here on
Punter for the Knights is number 15,
4th in a good while.
Brady Fix.
Snap. Brady Fix gets another good punt away. This one drives Hornell all the way back to their own 40-yard line. A couple of good punts here from Brady Fix when he's gotten an opportunity.
Beautiful punt by Mr. Fix. 1st down and 10 for the Red Raiders at
1st
the
and
40-yard
10
line.
coming up for Hornell. 7:07 remaining in this ball game. In a couple of minutes, we'll award the Casella Waste Athlete of the Game, along with the TF Browns top trench performer. As you see on the Casella Waste scoreboard, 32-0 Leroy, behind a big night from Adam Ryswick. A couple of touchdowns.
7:08 left.
One receiving, one on a punt return. Zach Vanderhoof is also at a big night defensively and up front on offense for Leroy. So 2 names there to watch for our 2 nightly awards here on the Batavia Daily News live stream. A quick reminder, join us tomorrow afternoon. Class D football, 2 rivals, or 3 rivals really, square off. Oakfield, Alabama, Elba takes on Notre Dame at Elba High School. Kickoff coming up at 1 p.m. on Saturday afternoon on the Batavia Daily News YouTube channel. Notre Dame, a disappointing loss to Calmon Byron Burgent last week. They'll be looking to rebound, while Oakfield, Alabama has run through its 2 opponents, Cuba Rushford, Hinesdale, and Clyde Savannah over the past 2 weeks. They faced Clyde Savannah earlier this week, as a matter of fact, so 2 games in 1 week for OAE as they take on the Irish tomorrow afternoon live at 1 p.m. Join me on the Batavia Daily News Facebook and YouTube channel. 6:20 remaining here in the fourth. 2nd and 10. Drew going deep down the middle. And it's just out of the reach of Caleb Galloway. And it was almost intercepted once again by Antonio Martinez. He's been close to a couple of interceptions here tonight. A nice job in coverage from him.
3rd down and 10 for the Red Raiders.
So 3rd and 10 coming up as, I'll tell you what, Nazca and Drew have no fear when it comes to chucking that ball deep.
What?
Both of them throw really line drive,
Like
low trajectory type throws, but they can get it there. Both strong arms, Drew and Nazca. 6:16, Drew looks like he was looking for a fake handoff. Nobody home. He takes it himself, spinning away from tacklers, but he's eventually brought down for a big loss. It's going to be about a 4th and 17 coming up for Hornell now.
Taken down for a loss. 4th down and about 16, 17.
So 5.5 minutes to go in this game. Bit of confusion on the Leroy return crew as a few reserves are in there. Martinez and Tyler Strollo back to return for the Knights, taking Strollo and Reiswick's place. Another high snap. But Hornell able to get this one away as Strollo comes up and makes a nice fair catch with 5:09 remaining in this ball game. 1st and 10 coming up for the Knights at about their own 41-yard line. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors for tonight's broadcast, Casella Waste, also sponsoring the Casella Waste Athlete of the Game, which will award following this night's drive. Casella, your #1 service provider for all your waste and recycling needs. 308-0662 today for a quote. Also, TF Browns, who will award the TF Browns Top Trench Performer. In a few minutes here. 214 East Main Street in Batavia, TF Browns. It's been their home for over 25 years. TF Browns, ready to meet your needs and budget. The Whiting Law Firm right here in Leroy, also offices in Batavia, 31 West Main Street in Leroy. General practice with over 38 plus years of experience. So 5:09 remaining here for Leroy. They begin their drive inside their own territories. The flip to Tyler Strollo. And he finds the edge for a big gain across midfield. Tyler Strollo
for a 1st down.
It's a 1st down for the Knights. Also, George & Sweet Sales and Service, a full-service equipment dealership located in Pavilion, 584-3425, georgeandsweet.com. Whether you need excavators, wheel loaders, trailers, rollers, or skid steers, George & Sweet is the equipment you need. Kenneth Klein, Realtor for Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. Your hometown realtor, providing you with the same level of services when purchasing or selling your home. You can count on Kenneth to be there every step of the way. 297-0764 for more information. Penapeno remains under center. 1st and 10 for the Knights here. Handoff goes to Flynn up the middle. Another good burst. He puts his shoulder down, and there he goes. Brock Flynn. Bull in the China shop up the middle into the end zone for the score.
Touchdown Knights. Brock Flynn.
38-0. Leroy adds to its lead. Brock Flynn showing his strength as he bulldozes a Hornell defender on his way to pay dirt. What an impressive run from Flint.
Mitch Hockey for the extra point for the Knights.
Reiswick rolls out, looking to throw. Now looking for the pylon. Dives for it. Did he get there? No, he didn't.
Extra point attempt.
So the
is no
first
good.
failed
Reiswick
conversion
will
for
be
Leroy here this
carried.
evening
Corner
comes
no good.
on a run from Reiswick as he failed
Atlanta
to
Knights, 38.
gain the edge and get the
Raiders,
pylon,
0.
and it remains a 38-0 lead. 4:31 remaining in the fourth. Hornell's going to take back over, but this one is all but over. So we'd also like to thank Sweet Betty's Restaurant and Ice Cream Shop, serving lunch, dinner, homemade desserts, 30 flavors of Perry's ice cream, soft custard, wine slushies, Dole Whip, and boba tea. Check us on our Facebook page for our daily specials. Open every day except Tuesday. Sweet Betty's, 15 Main Street in Leroy, 502-6084. Also, the Leroy Federal Credit Union has been serving our members for 60 years, bringing them a hometown feel with welcoming customer service and a feeling like you have control over your finances. Leroy Federal Credit Union, owned by you, working for you. Bubba's Landscape in Leroy for all your residential and commercial lawn treatment needs. You will spend less time on lawn care and more time doing things you love. Call now for an estimate, 768-6578. That's Bubba's Landscape. Western New York Concrete, pave your way to success. Since 1946, we've been proud to provide our concrete services throughout the Genesee County area and the rest of Western New York. Contact us today for custom concrete driveways, custom concrete patios, and more. Western New York Concrete, 343-6850. Beyond Driven, athletic training. Increase your strength, speed, agility, and vertical with the same strength program that powers the Leroy football team and countless other local athletes. Now accepting new athlete applications at BeyondDriven.com. Find out what it means to be a Beyond Driven athlete. So here's the kick coming up from Newmark following the most recent Leroy touchdown. Came from Brock Flint as he exploded into the secondary through a Hornell defender for a long touchdown run. Newmark, a line drive kick. Tried to field it on a hop, did Hornell, but it rolls all the way near the goal line. And Baker on the return for the Raiders. He gets it out past the 10-yard line, but that's going to be it, as that's where Hornell will begin its drive. A couple of more sponsors. Ankle and Foot Centers of Western New York. Dr. George Vito, over 30 years of experience. He's been striving to deliver the best ankle and foot care in Western New York and offers podiatry services for Leroy, Buffalo, Dunkirk, Angola, and the Batavia, New York area. Ankle and Foot Centers of Western New York has the physicians to turn to for reliable ankle and foot services in the area. Visit us online at ankleandfootcentersofwesternnewyork.com or call today to find a location near you. Empire Tractor, your local New Holland dealer, selling a full range of tractors and farm equipment. Empire Tractor is proud to sell Dixie Chopper zero-turn mowers, the world's fastest mower, and they are now selling and servicing the Coyote line of tractors, mowers, and utility vehicles. Check out their website, empiretractor.com, or visit them today right in front of the Genesee County Fairgrounds. A good burst for Hornell here. Late in this game, Xavier Patrick gives the Red Raiders a fresh set of downs. That might be Hornell's best play of the evening. Patrick has shown a bit of burst here. It's just he hasn't been able to break through the line of scrimmage as Leroy's front has really, really been strong. And I believe it's about that time to award the Casella Waste Athlete of the Game as we await this play from Hornell, a 1st and 10 inside 4 minutes to play. Drew takes the snap, handoff. Strollo ripping at it, unable to get it out, but a good defensive play there nonetheless. 2nd and 9 coming up for Leroy. And speaking of Leroy, we're going to give the Casella Waste Athlete of the Game to senior Adam Reiswick of the Knights. A punt return for a touchdown early on in the game. Later, a receiving touchdown. Really no one near him within 40 yards on that play. A perfectly thrown ball from Penapeno. So the Casella Waste Athlete of the Game, Adam Reiswick, a senior from Leroy. He will be awarded a gift card to TF Browns in Batavia. Handoff. That goes to Buzzard. It's going to be a gain of about 6-7 yards. 3rd and 2 coming up.
First stop for the Knights.
So a great game from Ryswick and really Leroy overall. They did it in all phases. They are about to shut out Hornell here tonight.
Miller also on the
They
tackle.
scored multiple times on special teams
Timeout.
and also put the ball in the end zone with consistency on offense. So a good game overall for Leroy, led by Adam Ryswick, your Casella Waste athlete of the game. 3rd and 2 coming up for Hornell, but a man injured on the field as we pull back up our Casella Waste scoreboard.
Griffin Baker injured coming off the field. Let's hear it for the Red Raiders. 3rd down and 2 for the Raiders.
So we'd like to thank Casella for sponsoring the athlete of the game, awarded to Adam Ryswick. After this play coming up, as I reset our time here, as I left the clock running, it's going to be 2:35 remaining here. 3rd and 2 for Hornell. Drew takes the snap, turns around, hands it to Buzzard, falling forward. I believe that's going to be a loss on the play of about 1, which will bring up a 4th and 3. Will Eschberger on the stop for the Knights. Approaching 2 minutes to play, we'll award the TF Browns top trench performer, and that's going to be given to Zach Vanderhoof of this Leroy offensive line, paving the way for a huge game from Drew Strollo. Brock Flint also a touchdown here tonight. So Zach Vanderhoof, senior of this Leroy team, your TF Browns top trench performer. Sponsored, of course, by TF Browns. Snap and a flag comes in.
Flag on the play.
As the clock comes to a
False
stop
start
with
on
about
the Red
1:37 remaining. False start
4th and 7 for the Raiders.
on Hornell. So 4th and 7, 4th and 8 coming up now.
Tyler Strollo, Antonio Martinez going back for the kick.
So we're about 1:05 remaining now. As Hornell gets a line drive punt away, fielding it on the bounce is Tyler Strollo. He looks to break away from tacklers, and he falls down at about the 46-yard line. 1st and 10 coming up for Leroy, and they will wind the clock with 59 seconds remaining. Zach Vanderhoof, your TF Browns top trench performer. Adam Ryswick, your Casella Waste athlete of the game, and Leroy is going to march on with a 38-0 victory over the Red Raiders here this evening at Hartwood Park. Leroy will move to 2-1, on the year, while Hornell, who entered the game at 2-0, will fall to 2-1 as well. Coming up next for Leroy, following tonight's game, will be a matchup with Minders at Minders next week at 7 p.m. on Friday.
Penapento takes a kneel. With the clock running.
Leroy will round out the season with matchups against Wilson, Letchworth Warsaw Perry, Attica, and Penn Yan Dundee. So you could definitely see Leroy running the table here going into the sectional playoffs. And I believe we have them in another game on our live stream later on in the year, so look forward to that contest coming up later on this season. Final snap of this game as Leroy is going to take home a blowout victory over Hornell. Once again, my name is Alex Brasky for the Batavia Daily News and Livingston County News. Thank you for joining us here at Hartwood Park. We'll see you next time.
Like to play